Linking sports with sustainability. A soccer field in St. Nicholas gets LED lighting powered by solar panels. Plus, in today's lifestyle segment, we'll answer the mysterious question of beer bellies. And since election is right around the corner, we revisit One-on-One's interview with selected candidates. 15 on 15 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yan Tulu. We decided to take the show outdoors today. A few parties collaborated together to link sports with sustainability. A soccer field in Centro de Barrio, Brazil in St. Nicholas is now greener as well, brighter.
Panels that you see. During the day, the sun gives the energy, it's captured in the battery, and at night you have LED lights that lighten up the soccer field. We are going to place 30 of those fields in Latin America in the coming 6 months, and the first is here at Aruba.
This solar panel project that Philips has goes hand in hand with what the government is trying to accomplish.
Well, the feedback has been overwhelming. First of all, it fits very well with Aruba. There is a project 2020 where Aruba wants to lower the use of energy and do much more with sustainable energy. And we want to support that as Philips, and we also want to show what is the possibility. And second, sport is very important, especially in communities. So we think that sustainability and sport have a lot in common. And I think people are a little bit proud in Aruba that they are the first.
A resident of the area says people are grateful for the neighborhood to be chosen for this green project. With extended hours at the soccer field, both kids and adults alike can make better use of it.
There is no doubt in my mind that the young people in particular in this district are going to benefit the most from these types of activities. But because we are now going to have solar panels and LED lighting, it means then that us as adults can also come out during the night hours and play on a lighted field. So this gives flexibility for not just our young people during the daytime, but when they go to bed, us older folks or mature folks can come out and we can have some fun too.
The field is primarily supposed to be used for soccer. However, schools around the area can conduct a variety of different activities.
And now it is the community. Now it's the Centro de Barrio. Now it's the schools in the surroundings and the daycare to use it as much as possible. So it will be for the soccer, but also for the schools. They can use it for their gymnastic lessons.
The parties involved are satisfied with the results of the project.
It's beautiful. It is incredible, but you can see it, how happy the kids are, because now they've got really the feeling also that they've got a good surface, a good pitch, and also the most important thing is that they can play also in the evening with the lighting, and that's nice.
Now, the same kind of initiative was launched in Africa. On the next edition of the show, we will find out the positivity it has in areas where sport was actually linked to sustainability. As Main Street comes together vibrantly, more stores with a unique concept are opening up. Check out the latest. The first nail bar has opened up in Main Street, designed with the busy female in mind.
Well, the concept started having the modern woman in mind. What we're offering right now is a mix of cosmetics with services like our nail bar, as you can see, the first one, and also, yes, kind of a feeling of a cafe. You'll probably find anything you need, from makeup, from facial products, nail products, and the idea is to create a ladies' environment so you can come unwind with a glass of wine or champagne or coffee and just enjoy yourself, your afternoon.
It is essentially nail care for those in a rush.
We are the first one to start with a nail bar. You have beauty salons, of course, but an express nail bar like this does not exist. As you can see, we have a completely different setup, completely different concept. It's for anybody that has time to take a manicure, but also the ones that are a little bit on the run, maybe during their break or right after they finish working, or the ones that are coming from the cruise ships.
The investors on Main Street believes Orangestad will once again be the IT hotspot.
Well, of course, the Main Street has taken a beating, and of course it has, for the better, whatever is to come. We already are sure that the Main Street is going to be blossoming into a beautiful street where we can go back to the times where all the families and friends came together and met while they're doing their shoppings. We are sure, and that's why we took this step. It's not easy to make such a step, but we see what's coming. We see already the change in the people, how they're reacting on it, and it's great. It really is great. The Main Street is looking gorgeous, and we're sure that's going to attract again the families and the people back to where it once was.
On that note, we will be right back. This is what's coming up next. And welcome back from the break. If you're just joining us now, we are taking our show on location today. Now, in today's lifestyle segment, we answer the age-old question, why beer gives you a beer belly? Apparently, it all comes down to gender and age. Beer specifically affect men's guts. When you drink beer, your liver has to go into overdrive to detoxify the alcohol. Now, if you have beer with snacks like chips and peanuts, then those calories are there to stay. Beer itself is pretty calorific already. For each beer unit, it accounts for 150 calories. Beer belly comes down to gender and age. After about the age of 35, most men's metabolisms start to slow down. While men tend to put weight on their bellies, women's fat stores commonly on their backside as well hips. Moving forward, a new study has proven that women are less likely than men to initiate salary negotiations. This is the case when the starting salary isn't presented as negotiable compared to men. Women were less likely to negotiate salary when the possibility of negotiation was not presented in the ad, but in the study, when the option was presented, women were more likely to negotiate. Most employers aren't going to tell you about wiggle room in the salary they offer. And if you take an employer's first bid, you could leave hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table over the course of your career. Your starting salary impacts how big future raises are, especially if they're given as a percentage of what you currently make, and can even impact how much you're paid at different companies. Over the years, that first initial difference really adds up, so be careful. The internet and the mobility of devices has really made it a lot easier and more convenient. Now, this includes cooking. People are able to share their little secrets about cooking online. Here are a few tips we found that can really spice up your dishes. When a savory dish needs a little oomph, try a squeeze of lemon instead of salt. A hint of citrus makes the whole recipe come to life. And now when sautéing onions, add a pinch of baking soda. It speeds up the browning and cuts cooking time practically in half. And now a good soup is made a day in advance. Let it sit in the fridge overnight, then warm it gently, and all the flavors will marry beautifully. And when it comes to making cocktails, the larger the ice chunks, the less you'll water down your drink. Remember that recipes are guidelines. They aren't carved in stone, so experiment. You never know, you'll probably be able to come up with something even tastier. Another good tip I found online was to serve yourself first. To get into a cooking mindset and to ensure you have a good time, put some of your favorite music on and fix yourself a cocktail before starting to cook. We will be right back. Here's what's coming up. The election is just days away. Do you know who you are voting for? Before you make that decision, do some research, find out what that candidate's political agenda is, and see if you agree with it, because ultimately you will be voting for that agenda. The last few weeks I've had the chance to sit down one-on-one with 6 selected candidates. In light of the election taking place on Friday, I'll be summing up each of those interviews this week. First, we're going to check out my interview with Juan David Iroskin. Juan David Iroskin is number 9 on the AVP list. He was number 29 last election, and he is working his way up. If his party is elected for the next term, he is looking to take on a more prominent role. Here's his political agenda.
One of the things we started with in the past 4 years is a just and durable Aruba. And a just and durable Aruba means where everybody has equal opportunities, where there's whatever you have a right to. You don't need a personal political involvement. And a durable Aruba means sustainable, where you think about the future generation in everything you do. And in the next term, I want to continue on this. Past term, I was focused on Parliament, and this time I'm open for an executive position.
When it comes to balancing the budget, Juan David says AVP already has a plan and will execute it.
One of the things is in government in the past 12 years, every single year the expenses go up with 50 million a year. And one of the things we want to do in the coming 5 years is the same thing we did in the 2013 budget, is where we keep the expenses at the 2013 level. So basically in a 4-year term, that means you're going to save 200 million guilders. That's number one. The second thing is there's economic growth perspective in the coming 4 years. We see that from all the international agencies are projecting that. So that means there are going to be additional income for the government. What we also want to do there is want to make sure that we could do a better tax collection. We don't believe right now that we should increase the taxes. I think if we increase taxes right now, we hit the people that are already paying. And I think we should collect from people that are not paying their dues.
And who would these be?
Well, these are people that are, in the gray market, black market area. According to the IMF, it's a group of more or less 20% of our economy. We believe that in the coming 4 years, we can take down half of that, then at least 10%, we can increase the income if we do a better collection. That's another 100 million guilders there.
And that is our show for today. Thank you for joining us. On the next edition of the show, starting on Tuesday night at 7:15 p.m., we will have another selected candidate from One on One. We'll see you then.